The data is being sent. Packets are moving through the internet at speed that might be of some manner of kilobyte, hopefully megabyte. Have to cue me.
All right. And I picked the moment right when you chose to swig a bit of coffee, of course.
It's not coffee.
Well, it's coffee branded.
Who am I? Who am I that you think I would be drinking coffee?
Anyway, welcome to Ningyo Bingo,
Where you keep collecting dolls.
but never seem to win the game. Today we are doing an impromptu, little video thing here just because we have doll things. Yeah. And
sometimes you do things because they're possible.
Yeah. Very, yeah. Also, whenever Lindsay's camera catches up, because she actually views the video from the stream, because I don't have a way of giving her also video. Maybe if I had
watching at YouTube speed, so sometimes Becca has to tell me when things are happening.
If I got another chief camera, I wonder if I could do that as a separate video source, and then my computer just catches fire.
Well, that's why you're making a new one.
Yeah, it's
I think
time.
Once you, we can look into, you can artificially make your computer create more input outputs so that you can then route them through other things. But that's for a different day. What brings us together today, Becca?
Can you now see this box back here?
Oh, is it the Lorge?
It is the Lorge. It is
how large is it, Becca, for the record? 75 cm?
It is 75 centimeters. Here, I'll let me do, where is my web browser? We're gonna do picture viewer, and I'm gonna show you how large is for a moment. Now, this is from their own promotional materials. And
Who's they?
Imomodoll. Okay, so here
We need to back ourselves up.
So while I wait for this,
we talk about ball jointed dolls if you have no idea what's going on. Also, that's the whole thing. That's the whole bit. Not always balls, not always joints. Usually dolls.
so did the image come up on YouTube's for you yet?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at you flipping through things.
Okay, so they sent this sheet. Now, granted, there's no 1/3 scale.
Imomodoll, okay, who is Imomodoll? Because I don't know much about them, and I don't know if anyone's watching knows much about them. What are they?
So, Imomodoll is another brand that Jane's Dolland carries, and they
are they Korean or Chinese based?
They look
This looks
Chinese.
Chinese to me.
Yeah. And they are also doing ABS doll bodies and several other things.
Oh, so
They
just like this one.
Yes.
Curly with this one.
Yes. So, oh, of course I'm not showing that screen right now, but anyway, we'll show it again later. But this is fine. So in the image that we're showing you right now, they've primarily made smaller dolls, but they've suddenly decided to make the 75 centimeter doll. Now, I think...
Wait, going from 1/4 to 75 centimeters tall, which is taller than a 1/3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright.
I think the 1/3 scale would almost come up to the...
Shoulder.
Not even...
I'll 60 centimeters is roughly the average for
I think
a third.
Maybe the armpit. So
I don't think it's quite that short.
Well, we'll see, because we're gonna have it. We're gonna have it together.
To...
Oh wait, no, I do. I forgot I do have you on the side for this image.
I am visible.
You are visible, and it looks like my camera isn't dead yet, which is also great. So, yes.
So what prompted getting the 75, which is a scale you have never lived in before?
I think I showed some images of this before on a previous episode, but I really want a cloud doll.
Oh, is that the goal?
Yeah, and I figured, so now I have the 3D printer, and I'll show you some of the 3D printer projects before we re-unbox this thing. I haven't looked at it, because I didn't want to be in the position Shizu-san was, where he just had boxes he didn't touch for like 2 years, because everything is content. Yeah, and it's like,
I know, sometimes it's like you just gotta let yourself have a party.
And I think part of the reason I had a hard time bonding with 2B was that I actually was like, hey, did you want to open this up and take images or video of it to Shizu-san? And then I had that delay, and then like my things kind of died down, and then yeah.
So like that initial blush of arrival excitement wasn't one that you got to bring into the experience of like kind of interacting for the first time,
right?
Which killed some of the romance, I guess.
Yeah, so speaking of 9S and 2B, I got a matching outfit, which should be popping up very shortly, for 9s. So now for Halloween they got to dress up in cute matching outfits whenever
That's
you're
extremely good.
So whenever your image
I'll let you know when I see it, and then I'll yell things about it.
Yeah.
Cats.
We'll come back to the cats.
Oh, they're very cute that way, though.
Yeah.
I like how the fashion lines are almost identical.
Yeah, even though
is like my big gripe in like an MMO or something, when like the clothes are like men get covered from chin to heel completely by whatever clothing type it is, and you put it on a lady and somehow half the clothes have disappeared.
Well, it is the Dolphy Dream version of the Dolphy Dream Dynamite version on the right, so it wasn't designed for a boy.
Well, I like it better this way.
Yeah,
you have good taste, is what I'm saying.
He's just taken that femboy look, and he's just using it.
So good. It's so good. Fuck gender.
He's using it, and he's working it. It's working. And she has the more feminine boots, and he has his default boots, and they're both using their default gloves with it, and it's kind of like default colors. And on the back is my sister's pillow art, and they're signed by the American voice actors from a million years ago at Geekdom Con.
That is so delightful. What a good thing to wake up to. I know that they gaze upon you.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though one of these days I might get them repainted, because oh boy, the repaints. Oh boy.
You see some really good ones out there.
Yeah, let's see. What else? Just very briefly, I guess I'll do the bigger picture first. For Halloween, I did dress as a doll, so I guess that's relevant.
Yes, you stuck to you maintained the bit. I'm so sad I was sick at the time and could not witness it in person.
Yeah,
I
so
was very sad about that.
So I think I made a pretty good Barbie doll. Probably curvy, because I don't have magical like stick legs. But
Nobody really does, unless you've gone through some severe health concerns. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. But I did put in my cloud stripe blue-green eyes for it, and my favorite detail.
I like that nod. It's now we can just imagine this is one of Cloud's many cross-dressing situations.
Oh gosh. Then my one favorite detail that you can't see on here is I actually used blue mascara that I had, because a lot of
that's fun.
Because a lot of the Barbie dolls from like the 90s had like the blue eyelash paint.
80s blue.
Yes, exactly, the 80s early 90s blue. I don't think anyone other than like real Barbie nerds and like people like that would understand the reference, but I understood it, and it made me happy that I looked through my makeup before the party and it's like, what do I have to make me look like a pretty lady thing? And I'm like, oh, the blue.
Apply pretty lady to face.
Yeah. Smack, 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 smack. Put it on. So yeah, and I got, this was the Primark tie-in bathing suit, but it kind of made a nice little...
Really? Is that an official Barbie tie-in suit? Which is why the stripes are so
very
good.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very precise look. And when you initially showed me this a little while ago, I was like, oh wow, that's such a like an on-point Barbie pink, and the striping really feels like a 90s pattern, which is not easy to find in the vertical. But now that I know it is like on purpose from the manufacturer, this makes a lot more sense. I do love the choice of leggings a lot.
Yeah, I bought the leggings from Amazon. The necklace I had, it felt like I needed just something kind of a little oversized and plasticky there for a necklace.
It has like the weight.
Yeah, I kind of wish I...
You're a little empty up here because everything's so cool down here, so you need like something.
Something here, so not everything's just... Yeah, and then I almost wish I used my 3D printer to print out one of those ones that kind of just like clip onto the back.
Where it's just like one piece and it's open in the back.
Yeah, the one you just clip around the doll's neck.
You just like hope it doesn't break, because especially if it's a little older and getting a little brittle.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately the front camera, the front facing camera, back facing camera on my phone is stuck at a certain focal length. So I'm working on some weird workarounds to get a new phone that's unlocked for a cheap price, but that's why this is terribly blurry. So that being said,
it's fine. We understand.
Here's my wonderful cats helping me out by sitting on all the information that would dox me. Good boys helping mom out.
This is my mission, is to keep Becca from doxing herself constantly. We're looking at like a lot of packages and mail is involved in the hobby, so it inevitably is on screen, and now it's on screen, it matters.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a few friends, by the way, saying hello this morning. The Kitten Cat Shop. Very kindly stopping by, which is very lovely of them to do so.
Where's my...
Phylacor? Nice to see you.
Oh, hey.
I think it's the first time I've seen your name. Welcome. We're a little scattered, but I hope we're entertaining. You're good in the background while you're working voices, hopefully.
Yay! And my camera hasn't frozen yet, which kept happening as we were setting up.
We're moving ahead. So, Barbie happened. Cats happened.
Yeah, I want to show... I don't know if I took a good picture of the tape. See if I can... Can I zoom in this? Ah!
Are you using the native viewer in Windows?
Yeah, okay. So I got a little bit of zoom.
You should be able to zoom a little.
Yeah. So
Enhance.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but, you know.
Oh, goodness. Just as a little aside, there was recently, for Halloween, the people who did the House on Hollow Hill are like a fairly, does like every year a short series horror TV show thing. And they did Midnight Mass and things like that, and they do really good things. And this year they did a series based on, roughly inspired by the writings of Edgar Allan Poe, and they did a really nice job. But there's one point in it where like they have an image, and this like out of touch CEO guy, who's our central character, is like, can't you enhance it or something? And the person in the room with him was like, that's not a thing! You can't just enhance things because you want to enhance them. You can zoom in, but it doesn't enhance. And they go in this whole back and forth that was really nice to see in media. It was so hilarious.
That is delightful. Anyway, the one thing I wanted to show off here is that there's these...
isn't that the tape?
Yeah, it's the lovely little branded tape. Maybe I should... Am I going to dumpster dive and take a sample of this tape because it's so cute?
You mean you didn't do what I do and you just sort of keep the box forever?
I didn't... I'm trying to not do this. I'm trying to not do this.
It's part of the artifact.
I understand,
especially
but I
can't. It's branded on the outside. It's part of the artifact, Becca, and you can flatten them, so it's not so bad.
But then it adds up. It's like I still gotta keep the big box.
I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm saying I'm correct.
Yeah. I'll just take a sample. You take a sample. Jesse
you can even make a booklet out of it, like a file folder of all your...
I'll probably just take a
Hmm.
sample of the tape and then put it into the doll box. It's just cue me sneaking out here before Jesse can see me in the morning sneaking into the dumpster with a little, like, knife. And just like, don't see me. Jesse said he heard me. Jesse said he heard me. I've been found out.
That was a very short-lived attempt at trying to have a plan. That is the shortest lifespan of a plan I've ever witnessed personally. The half-life of that was a minute. Oh, hi, Thylacore. I'm so glad to hear that you've been listening to our podcast and you've stuck around enough that you wanted to jump into the chat today.
Oh my god.
Really appreciate that while Becca's slowly down the corner.
Oh my gosh. Okay, video is still working. I'm just taking a look. So when I opened the box, what I thought was the top of the box ended up being the bottom of the doll box, but it does tell you a little bit about it. PVC from Imomodoll. 75 centimeters, a lot of Chinese, a UPC code, which is interesting. I'm not used to dolls having a UPC code.
Yeah, that's a little more official than they are able to be because they're such small units.
Yeah, but maybe it just helps them with shipping things out or stuff. And it also says the Perluno, which I didn't even realize this had a name other than Imomo 75 centimeter doll body.
They usually have a name of some kind.
Mm. Well, head sculpts do, but bodies. They actually released this, and now they're releasing bodies. So here you can see the top of the box with its pretty art. And I'm doing this just because I wasn't sure how
design.
Well.
Packaging design gets me real good, which is why I do save boxes. The thought that goes into designing a box is really interesting to me.
Which is why I haven't opened my Attractionistas and I got doubles, because some of the art on each of them is slightly unique in color and everything like that, and I'm just like, I can't. Mm-hmm. And when I opened up Ghoulia for the new one, I actually flattened out pieces of the box and kept it.
There's such beautiful design work going into packaging. Nothing matches for me, Japan packaging is like its own category. But packaging in general, when it's beautiful and it's from a bespoke person, it's from a specific artist who clearly thought very deeply about the presentation they wanted to have happen. I just get into it that way. Especially in the really small shops and stuff that I often am interacting with.
So, yeah, so there's the top of the box and a bit of my Halloween decorations, and then there's this. So, do we want to go right into the big boy, or do we want to talk a little bit about the 3D printing stuff a little bit first?
Why don't we stick with where our conversation has gone?
Okay.
And then we can have the opening, and then we can discuss it, because the lack of head will walk us nicely into the 3D printing, I think.
Yeah. So, in other words, you're saying don't get ahead of ourselves.
Yes. We're both people whose conversation will bounce rapidly, partially because we have our own context with each other.
Lindsay.
Discussing parts of this.
Lindsay, did you just skip right over my pun?
Did I miss a pun? Am I that tired this morning?
I said don't get ahead of ourselves.
Oh my god. It was so stealth. Unlike your plan earlier, it was so stealth.
Go to bed.
No, wait for you.
I know, but go to bed. All right, let me see.
Look,
local
we have the
center
bit with me and Ami Ayase, and this is now your bit.
Go to bed. So, behind me I have two girls that I brought over for comparison. I don't know how opening this on camera is going to work. I'm going to start...
It is very large, so you have a lot of context. Do you want me to vamp a little bit? Do you want to move your camera so you're at an above and down? Because that usually works best for box openings. Because that's how you're looking at it.
Okay.
People aren't staring at you staring down.
One moment. Let me show you the scale of the situation. I can't hear you, but...
We need a Becca for scale. Buy Becca for scale.
Becca for scale.
Becca for scale. For
So,
the information of those
how-
watching, of roughly how tall are you?
How framework? How framework?
Because you're a petite person.
Here? Here.
It goes from your knees to your shoulder. The box is bigger than your torso. And you're a petite person, but you're not a tiny person.
No. Okay, wait. Doll?
You're like, what, 5 something? 5 and change?
Doll.
Let's see. Let's watch. I am traditionally extremely awful at, like,
Heater.
guesstimating sizes. And so I'm trying very hard at the moment, so this is my vamping.
Chair.
Things sorted out together.
I'm so prepared.
You are prepared. You are more prepared than you think you are. It is truly a huge one. I have only interacted with 75 centimeter rarely. I think the last time I was interacting with one was when I was at a Volks event many years ago, and they had released I don't know if it was 75 exactly, but it was like bigger than their normal thirds, and 2 folks I knew had gotten it out of the limited raffle at the Volks event in Tokyo. So they had opened them and were like, I was given very kindly the opportunity to handle one of them. And it's like, it's a whole event to deal with one of those. It's more than, you have to really think about interacting with them because they're so big and they're so heavy and there's so much of them. And like, you don't want them to fall, and it's like handling a toddler in size. And you want to be just as careful as handling a toddler. They interact with you personally differently because the scale is so big. Like, me handling one of these little tinies that I have from the Antus is it's like a small little experience. I even hold them like I hold a frog. Like I'm expecting them to leap out of my hands. But it's a very casual interaction, but when you do something bigger, it's like the amount of care and focus required from you to manage it without dropping it is hard. It demands something of you at that scale.
Okay, I can officially fully hear you again. I've managed to fit
I've been talking about scale and how it feels. How tall are you, Becca? So people have a sense of the scale against you.
I am 5'1" and a quarter.
I thought you were 5 and change. I feel very proud of myself.
5'1" and a quarter. Yes.
I'm 6 inches taller.
I've officially not doxed myself by showing anything on my desk because I thought about that ahead of time.
I am so proud of you.
I'm continuing to be good at this. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you very clearly now.
Okay, I was worried about a distance from the microphone, which is here, and I am now here, which is longer.
You sound great. Earlier, you weren't noises, but also you weren't noises. So that was a good combination.
Yeah.
I just rumbled a bit.
Please excuse everybody my hand over the camera as I moved it. But, it's whatever.
Kit and Cat Shop is talking about how they love their tiny 29 centimeter BJD, which is it's not quite 1/4. That's a little smaller than 1/4, I think.
It's around the size
Worrying
of
about a 65 centimeter head for a body for a head that they're interested in, and I understand that fear. I understand this.
Yeah.
There's a charisma to a large doll that is intimidating.
Yeah, and I feel like even the heads that they made for this on the website, I probably should have loaded the website. We'll get to that in a bit.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
They even feel a little small to me, but maybe that's just because I'm so used to ball jointed dolls.
Bobble?
Yeah, the Kit and Cat. I was thinking that was USD scale, so 1/6 scale.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
here's this box.
It depends on the proportioning that they're going for, and that they're imagining the amount that the wig would add on top of the size, I suppose.
I'm realizing that...
So their proportioning might be a little bit more like a slender head that's a little bit more human scale rather than like our boggles.
Once again, I did open this box once before just so I could actually have hype excitement, but
that is fine. Nobody is judging you for having your tape already.
I realize I have to twist this thing around so that I can actually position it, the opening towards the camera, as I'm connected. I guess I should endeavor to make my next one have Bluetooth so I can have Bluetooth.
So you can get bottle around.
That would be nice. That would be nice. But hey, once again, looks like all of our audio is working, and as
I can hear you just fine. So
as I reach off, and yep, I got desktop audio. It's not broken yet. We're still doing the streaming. And
alright, open the box.
Wait, I'm paranoid. We're still streaming on YouTube, right?
Yes, I have it open. I can see us.
Great.
Open the box.
Are we still, or is it just way behind for me because I'm showing like?
It's just way behind.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. Fine.
You don't have the pipes for simulcasting. You're fine.
So you can't see this then?
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lindsay.
It is okay. It'll come to me eventually, and then I'll be able to make my normal, occasionally helpful, occasionally not help.
Because I still have us on a slideshow when I'm looking, but are you further along than that, or is it just...
Yeah, no, I'm much further along than that. I see your hands with the box.
Okay. You know what? Why do I even have this window open? Because...
You don't need it.
I don't. Kill that. One less thing from my...
It's gonna be just taken from your pipes.
Yeah, great. Because you can monitor it and make sure things don't die.
I do, and I do all the time.
Okay.
I've got the chat, I've got the YouTube, making sure we're functioning. We're okay.
So here, the entirety of me just disappears because I'm now behind the box. And the cord, God. Okay.
Yeah, talk me through it. Give us a verbal explanation of what you're doing.
My cord has dragged me completely backwards as it has propelled me. The lid of the box has propelled me 2 feet away from where I originally was. And I am coming back in. And I'm now going to lift the body pillow out so that it is much more manageable than this damn box.
It really isn't that much smaller than the box. I am shocked.
It is the entirety. It goes end to end, and there's like evidence of like dents on the inside, which is probably just from the plastic on the neck bouncing up and down. There is.
I'm so big, Becca.
It is. I made a decision. This thing is probably not going to live here more than like a year, and I'll have fun with it, print some things for it, and then I'm going to go. You don't have room for you in this house. Please, somebody else enjoy this thing I have created. I am now discarding.
Sometimes something being a transitory project is still, like, that is still valid hobby interaction.
Yeah, and...
Everything has to be a forever, and not everything has to be just for you. Like, passing things on can be really fun, too.
Yeah. I would love it if this Google Chrome ad went away. Great. Okay, cool. So here's what came with it. Just briefly. So we have the pamphlet, and on the back of the pamphlet, which I think is really interesting, is they have instructions on how to use it with a more vinyl head or to string it for a BJD head.
They're anticipating the hybridization that most people do.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Are you sure this is Cloud and not Sephiroth?
That's what Jesse said too. Also, my sister also got the same one. So
Cloud's a little more twinky.
That's what everybody's telling me, and it's just like the perfect body for it would probably be the Smart Doll body. So, as long as I don't make
the Smart Doll male.
Yeah, as long as Danny doesn't decide I'm on the X list at any point. Maybe when they re-release the bodies, I'll have a chance.
I can't imagine you would. I'm mean, but you're not. I'm the problem. I'm on the X list, I'm sure.
So
If he even acknowledges my existence.
So, Jane's Dolland sent me stickers.
I love, like, I've ordered from Jane's Dolland multiple times at this point. I adore Jane.
And just as a moment, I don't know if you follow them on social media, but they recently had a loss. I believe it was their mother that passed away. So just thank you for all your beautiful dolls. And I'm going to show this and link this for you so that you can see more happy things about the happy things you do in life that bring people joy to help bring you through this absolute suck time, because there's nothing that actually makes it better. But thank you.
It's not go over, it's a go through.
Yeah.
And they're doing they are so good at their job of being this intermediary between these smaller artists and then bringing them into a place where we can enjoy and interact with them and throw our money at them.
Oh, yes. Which
I 100% trust Jane with my money. Which is in this hobby, sometimes you do have to be a little canny about the dealers you work with and the intermediaries you work with. And it's often better to have a very experienced intermediary, especially when you're dealing with the smaller ateliers, because they don't have a lot of internal structure. So if something goes wrong, you have no ability to fix it.
Right. So
But a dealer often does, and reputation is everything, considering the amount of money that's going through some of these transactions.
So
Jane's great.
My sister bought it, I think straight with a intermediary. She used Superbuy, and she got it for cheaper. But I wanted to use Jane's Dolland because I trusted it, so I paid a little bit more. But you know what? I'm fine with that.
Seriously, it's worth paying the extra for a reliable dealer who knows what they're doing.
That can help if an issue happens and stuff, because what's Superbuy going to do if a piece is missing or anything?
For example, I had a piece missing from my Fibonacci that I showed earlier that was supposed to be included, and if it was just me, I would have had no chance. But because I was working through Jane has because they're moving through so much product with that particular person, they had extra and they were able to hook me up with it, and I just did another order of things I wanted anyway, and it just showed it was such an easy process. They were so accommodating in a way they didn't necessarily have to be. It was really, really cool. So I was very you're a good, they're a true doll hobby person themselves.
Yeah.
Which is really grand.
So here's this, once again, amazing packaging, amazing little pamphlet.
Oh my goodness.
Can you actually see it?
See nuns.
So it unfolds, and the nun, that's kind of what they've been doing, as well as the smaller ones that we showed earlier on the slideshow. So let's check on time, because time flies by when I'm with you. Okay. So there's that. So that is all the paper items. We also got this item that I'm going to cover with my hand for the benefit of YouTube. We'll explain that in a bit.
I'm on tender hooks because I can't see it yet.
I don't think I can show it on stream.
Oh, is it
It's a little.
Is it part?
It's a little package for the big package.
Is it optional?
No, because there's only one of them. So it's not it's either yes or no. Do you want a package? Yes or no?
Oh.
Which is interesting to me, and it didn't seem proportional when it was on.
Also, as much about clothing fitting nicely as anything else.
Yeah, I think it might be that. Yep, Kitten Kat Doll Shop parts.
It's air quotes. Parts.
So here's the silicone little things that was shown in that image, and then it gives you an S hook, and
they gave you string. That's nice.
Yeah, for that entire process. I am now going to put this off camera so that I cannot make any accidental mistakes. Alright, so this, I hastily retied these bows that this is going to have, so you will have to excuse it. It was much more pretty when it first came. So interestingly, this all has snaps, which is good because it prevents it from shifting around in that box. You can see that it's so long that this part that looks like an optional part is up here, as this camera struggles with the white balance.
And as traditional for a webcam, they don't have the internal mechanisms to handle change very well.
So,
I don't know meant to. I mean, you're not like running around usually with a webcam.
So here is him.
Here he is.
In comparison,
Somehow he's less awful when he's out, like in terms of like size and intimidating size, when he's not contained.
here is her. She goes up to his armpit. Yeah, I was right, armpit, and she's in heels.
No. Okay, it's not as bad somehow. Somehow the box was awful. In terms of like, oh no. Like the box was oh no. And then inside of the pillow fort, it's a little oh no.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, this is a manageable size. It's ABS rather.
Yeah.
I almost said ABCs. I work with children. ABS. So it's not as like a resin 75 is a whole event because it's resin, so you're worried about it, and it's also freaking heavy.
And the heaviness, you're fighting joints, friction and function, like our episode.
The pull of gravity becomes something the friction has to fight with more.
Yes. Bonk. Pillow.
Inertia. Other physics.
Bonk.
It's so interesting how the way the dolls function and pure physics are like innate, and engineering and physics are involved in that. There's a deep science side to the design of these.
So, of course it.
Oh my goodness, that 6-pack looks like like when people have a pack of the Hawaiian potato rolls.
Yeah. So then once again, her versus him. I'll try. Can I show anything standing in this? Not now. I'll have to adjust the camera angle and show standing angles later. But she's kind of in a.
And Kat mentioned it's like standing next to their 6'4".
Yeah. Oh,
I think that you're the kit and the cat. You're a little bit more petite of a person.
Yeah. Speaking of which, my lovely Strength / Naomi's earrings right now are from Kit and Kat, and it matches beautifully with this very
Is that right that they have non-destructive earring systems?
Yeah.
That are really, really easy to put into your doll?
It's great.
Wait,
It's just magnets, so it's super easy. It works very well on the smart dolls. They have a little less distance between their earlobe and the inside for thickness. But it also works on the Dolphy Dreams, which have a little bit more thickness. I haven't tried it on a BGD yet, but it might be a little...
Like in a resins context, you mean?
Yeah, resins tend to have separated earlobes, so people tend to just actually pierce them.
The ability for the detail.
But it happens that the earrings that I got for the remake for the Totally Hair Barbie were perfect shade for this random outfit that I got in an outfit pack from a seller that was just getting rid of old stuff. That's very how to say Disney movie Frozen.
Oh.
So
Very Elsa-esque.
So we put him here. You'll see that there is a hole.
I understand. That's the option part, folks.
That's where the option part goes, yes.
So chose.
There is...
Pants probably fit him better this way, though.
Yeah. There is spots where you can see where the parts screw together. You can see it a little bit. You won't see it much once...
Because in an ABS system, everything's friction fit. There is... Though they gave you stringing, I think the stringing is only for certain particular parts of it coming together.
And this is ABS, but it's a bit squishy. It has some give to it.
Yeah, there's types of ABS. Like ABS is a whole range that of variety.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with, we're saying, oh, it's ABS, blah 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 blah. Like you have no idea what we're talking about. ABS is the same stuff that like white pipes for your house is made out of. It's a type of extruded plastic, melted plastic, I suppose. It must be. It probably comes as pellets, and they melt it, and then they put it into a mold.
I think.
And they've just been getting very good at getting detail out of them. I think it's the same issue with vinyl. Vinyl is a system where you have a superheated slush that is then put inside of a mold made out of metal, and then it is centrifugally spun, and then it creates a skin on the inside of the metal mold.
Sorry,
With
guys.
ABS, you have typically pellets of plastic that are then melted into a slurry, and then are then pressure sent into usually also probably metal or rubber molds that are like injected and then hardened through cooling. So they're related in the terms of like how they function, but the way that the molds are actually made are very different from each other. And if ABS, you have I think more room to like make the whole thing out of ABS. A lot of vinyl dolls, the skeleton's made out of ABS and a combination of metal or people, things like that. So these guys being made out of ABS, they're made out of a variety of ABS because plastic comes in all types. And I think I like with mine, like she's not my Fibonacci, which I have from Tiny Fox, and she's gorgeous.
So big.
I love her. She's also an ABS based doll. She doesn't have any squishy bits though. You have squishy bits.
Yeah, it's actually squishy. If you didn't tell me, I would think it was vinyl. So
Yeah.
Here's him standing.
Becca. So big. It's so big.
Yeah, once you get here.
I mean, there's
then
a whole area
here,
of the hobby where the larger scale, because like a masculine larger scale doll is like a subsection of the aesthetics that is like a category that exists.
So here is her standing next to him. Like they're both on my thigh here. Like I'm not trying to exaggerate this. Like his thigh. Let me take a measurement. I do, in fact, have measuring tape right here conveniently. His thigh, and let's do centimeters for the majority of the world. And
the dolls are spoken about in centimeters, so we might as well stick to a consistent.
Is about 20 centimeters. Her waist.
Like around or up and down?
Around.
Damn.
Her waist is 18. So, like, his thigh is bigger than her waist.
Wow.
Just, so, it does, you're like, oh, yeah, the height, but, like, it doesn't make sense until you see it straight on. Once you see it straight on, like, it didn't look so bad because she was further away, but once you look at it, like, straight there, it's like suddenly the scale comes in. But let's look at the sculpting. All right.
I think we've both often mentioned that with this hobby there is this disconnect between interacting with it through imagery and like the internet social piece and seeing them in person. And they transform in a way when you're in person with them because of their size and scale and interactability. You interact with them differently when you're in person, and you can see the three-dimensionality of them.
So this joint is loose.
Ooh, don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not worse than a ball-jointed doll, though. But
okay, that's not too bad.
I mean, like, I'm very used to that, but, like, I don't have the usual fixes I could fix it with the ball-jointed doll.
I feel like adding a little bit of, like, hot glue sueding might be a thing. I'm not as familiar with that.
Well, it's,
like, as you said.
it's a joint, and it has a middle part that moves with the two balls on the side, similar to how the wrist is made here. And I just took off his hand for the first time, and just kind of trying to fuck with it.
Kind of investigate the ABS bodies because the logistics of their engineering is a different type of logistics.
Oops. Okay.
Than the PJDs themselves.
Okay, I think that's how the hand is intended to come off.
Ooh, that's nice.
This feels like it's plugged in there in a way that's not intended to be removed. I would have to use like a hairdryer or something. Yeah. So.
Sometimes I've found with mine there's like twist.
Yeah, Okay.
So sometimes just is it a twisting thing rather than a pulling thing?
So this locks into here, gets to here, and then we have the joint, which you can see there's a little bit of thinging in here.
Hold on. Did I I see what I did.
Okay.
You're good.
So there's a little bit of gap
I accidentally
there.
paused the YouTube video on my end, so I thought our YouTube video had frozen.
It might just be a matter of pushing it together, but I also might be able to like pop the joint apart and like increase the friction in there somehow and then put it back together.
Sort of the problem you have when you have a loose joint in a Smart Doll or a Dolphy Dream.
Well, except they got better about that because now those have
the screw so you could add tension as it weighs down.
Yep, they've addressed the issue.
Yes, that's an interesting point because now we can start, like, as others are moving into this like ABS plastic vinyl space, the price points are very different.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're seeing here, everything here is plastic. In a Volks interior skeleton system, there are metal pieces, or at least screws at certain points, which is different, and requires a different price point and different material cost.
Yeah, I have not.
Different complication of engineering, and then different complication of being able to put things together.
So, when they showed this, they showed.
Those abs at the same time.
Yeah, those abs are pretty great. So, the ab sculpting is great. It has. Come on and focus, buddy.
They know what they're here to do.
Lovely little butt dimples. There we go. That's great lighting. My favorite little sculpting detail is the shoulder blades here.
Aw.
Like, not the front. The back is really beautiful to me. Maybe I'm a butt girl. I don't know.
I also, like, there's certain pieces of the sculpting that always gets me because they're subtle, usually, but, like, lovingly done. And, like, that the transition from the spine to the rear is, like, the way that's handled, I think, is often very beautiful.
Yeah, this is really nice. And then the hands look awesome. If I put my hand, if I hide my head, maybe it'll focus on the hand.
Shoulder blades are also one. Like, that whole interaction with the shoulder blade up into the neck. Like,
Yeah.
That's an area I look for to see, like, the quality of the sculpting.
Perhaps, I forget what this muscle is actually called. I know what people colloquially call it. That looks...
I'll help you as soon as I know what you're pointing at.
Yeah, the muscle that leads from the top of the hip down towards the center of the pelvis.
Oh, is it called the flexor muscle?
I think so. Yeah, probably that.
Or the gluteus maximus? I think that might be part of the gluteus maximus arrangement.
Then... Yeah. Kitten Cat Soft said she likes the... It's hard for me to know which of the members it is.
Just saying they because it's a default for me when I'm not thinking too hard.
Yeah, like the soft bionicle pieces. Thylacore, please enjoy your sleep. You can check out all the 3D stuffs afterwards on the VOD. Enjoy your time asleep.
It was lovely having you come by. Welcome you to always say whatever you're comfortable with. Lurkers are always approved.
Yeah. Wonderful.
And this vlog will be up later so you can finish watching it.
Yes. I'm glad I didn't delay too long before I unveiled the doll then. Yeah. So here, it's interesting because I think they did this to enable a sort of double joint because it kind of folds up and then around.
Are you talking about the knee?
Yeah, the knee. And then the knee kind of goes like this and it has the plastic piece that's outside.
I'll catch up some.
It's like that, and then you can see the little bit of the screw there, but you know, whatever. It's probably going to be in clothing. Or
yeah, there's a lot of obsession in the hobby about like hiding the mechanics aesthetically, and sometimes it's like, when are you ever looking at it if you have it properly closed off?
but sometimes
there's like an aesthetic tension, but a practicality tension and aesthetic tension of like what do you prioritize, how it looks underneath clothing or without clothing. Like,
Yeah.
what are your priorities have to go?
That being said, I did on old Dolphies, just like the normal 112 fashion doll kind of things.
Yeah.
Often, because they were ABS plastic, they had parts where they screwed in. They would actually sell with the piece as you were working with it, little plugs that would go in there and you could sand them smooth.
Oh, that's right.
So I would have liked to have seen that here. And
like,
I lost your video.
If you're comfortable saying as much, what price point are we working with? Because we need to take that into calculation when we're looking at the build quality.
Oh, did it just automatically come back up? Amazing. I don't know how.
So what's your price point here?
So my sister directly from the company.
Why don't we stick with what you paid through a reliable dealer?
Okay.
Keep consistent price, because you're like Volks is a dealer, as it were, but
okay. So with everything total, I did a 70 down payment, 125 second payment, and shipping 195 total.
So roughly around $200 for what we're looking at.
Yes.
And a equivalent resin body runs what, 7, 9, 5?
Depends on which company you're going with, actually. But like, I would say if I were to look for a company with this level of sculpting, I would say Eiffel House is actually the equivalent, and
that's true, especially in scale. And then we're also moving into a different material, which has a different cost.
Right.
We're not doing an apples to apples comparison, really, but
yeah. So those I think are around 500. And then how much is it for just separate doll body on Volks? Let me take a looky look. Looky look.
Oh, you mean in terms of secondhand market? Because they don't sell them usually.
No, they do. Because not this scale, but just in general, because it's only going to go up from there in price.
That's true.
Let's see. Dolphy, Dream, Bodies, Base, 361 for the Dolphy Dream Dynamite, which would be their largest one.
So that's a 1/6 scale female body.
So I think if you're looking at probably $400 or more if Volks were to make this in a vinyl, at least.
And we're working in ABS, different type of system in terms of the internals. So it's like half the price.
Yeah. And then I think it's worth saying, if you are so brave, my sister's total, including shipping, was $117. So that's even less.
Yeah. And so when you're looking at the build quality and you start looking at the internals and like the logistics of the jointing and the material choices, you have to take into consideration that this is a artisan who is choosing a different direction than it's not lesser quality, but the choices they're making are impacting price. So when you're looking at a body and you're like, wow, that's really cheap, that means that you should be expecting internally a different type of material use than in like something worth 2 or 3 times as much.
Or they didn't actually sculpt it and they are stealing it. That was a scary sound.
Yes, this is where the canniness of in the why talking about dealers is important, and like reliable dealers. Like when I go to Jane's Dolland, I know everything on there is a legitimate piece.
Huh.
I trust them. They have a reputation in the community. So it's always worth, when you are, especially if you're new to the hobby, if you see a really good deal, it's worth being a little suspicious and checking around and doing some Googling to see what the reputation is about them before you jump in with both feet, or to try like just a smaller purchase first, maybe just like a set of hands or something, to test the waters. But if it's a reliable dealer that has like a widely known in the community sort of approval rating, as it were.
Trying.
That's generally a good sign.
Actually, it has the Imomodoll logo on the neck. If I could get this thing to focus, but who knows?
It's fascinating how that upper piece is like functions in a non-elastic world.
Yeah. So this, they say pull this one out, and then you can either. They showed it. Oh yeah, there's a hole here, which currently has a little bit of plastic flash in it, but you can loop it through the hole, it said, or you can loop it around these two, kind of like that. Is what they were showing. So I don't have a head yet for it because I'm gonna 3D print one.
Because you are making Cloud.
Yeah, so I want to be able to take, and it's interesting here because you can see where they clipped, here there's like a little bit where they clipped it from the sprues.
Yeah, I haven't quite been brave enough to do a full takedown, like a full breakdown of the Fibonacci full set I have. Cause
yeah.
Her job is to sit there and look pretty, basically. But.
Yeah, since the manual said do it, I decided to just do it. Scary, but
something that I would like to do at some point is to just go through and see how far apart I can take it, just to understand what's going on underneath.
Yeah. So exploratory dissection. So the only part where I'm like, nah, on the sculpt is just the feet. They're just feet. It's very flat on the bottom, but I'm sure that adds to the
shame. One of my favorite little pieces of sculpting is how they handle the arch of the foot.
Yeah,
they're very darling on the Volks ones.
It's okay. There's a bit of an arch, but it's very flat. But I'm sure that adds to stability. Like, he's big. He needs a steady base. His hips don't turn outwards that much, but you can spread the legs a little. And is he standing? Da 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 da. Scary. And there you go. He is standing.
Which is the nice thing about the tension fit joints. They tend to allow for like the tiny adjustments that allow for standing.
Yeah, so there he is standing without a head. So let's talk about making head stuff.
So Becca, tell the lovely people what you've gone face first into lately.
Sure. Oh, once I get your video back.
Oh, I am disappeared, aren't I?
You are disappeared. Where is your...
I am a voice in the void. I don't mind being a voice in the void. I kind of like it.
Go back. Back? Okay. We're back. Okay. Got you back on the screen that we need you to be on.
Oh, good. I'm no longer in the void. It has been avoided.
Oh, good. You woke up.
Oh, I don't know if that's waking up. The punning is reflexive. It's catching them when they happen. Especially when your delivery was so delightfully smooth.
So, Smart Doll provides, and Danny Chu provides files. So that was one of the things I was working on, and I'll show that. I'll grab my girl and bring her over for a second. Boo, 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 boo. Dodge the huge box in the room.
I have the name of the piece of the body that we were trying to name earlier. A good friend of mine mentioned that we were streaming, and they just let me know it's called the iliac furrow.
Iliac something?
The iliac furrow, like furrowing your brow kind of furrow.
Oh, okay. Very good then. Fabulous. Is somebody like stealth watching, or you just asked or Googled it or something?
No, they just mentioned it to me in a different communication.
Oh, nice. Very good then. Good friends. Oh.
Calling them out. Thank you for helping.
So here is the original pieces of clear cortex, and here is a 3D printed clear hand. So she can finally have hands that aren't in the fist position, which was the only position that it came in when I got her.
So, walk me through the process of how do you obtain, like, why... I don't know if everyone knows the situation with Smart Doll with Danny making files available, and then how you access them, and then how you turn them into a thing.
So, from Smart Doll, he basically says, if you are a Smart Doll owner, technically, I guess that's owning the license in a way, you are able to download these from his site. It's on a section that says extras, freebies, and then like 3 files. And he says if you're a Smart Doll owner, you can print as many of these as you like, and you can profit off of them. You can just use them.
Really? He's allowing you to sell them?
Yes, as well as they have clothing patterns and everything as well, which is great. So, with all this, it's pretty great for that. You can just print and have fun. So I've been having fun, and it's probably going to be... So one of the interesting things about the clear faces is that when you put the putty in, you can kind of see the white portion that like the clear is on, which is why when I disconnected again. Okay. And my doll is falling.
Oh no, everything at once.
Yay! Fine. This is fine. Everything's fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
Let me just... Okay, this goes back into the other window. Great.
What really impresses me about the resin printing in general is how you really don't have layer lines like you do with the plastic extruded.
You do a little, and I'll show you if I can make it show in a second. Come on, get in there.
I'm sure on the transparent pieces, it's particularly prone to be a little bit more visible. That seems like a reasonable thing to expect.
On my next computer, there's going to be a spot where I'm going to be able to have 2... Why is this doing this? Is it at least capturing you? It is.
I'm caught.
But no, that's right. When I go to a different thing, it won't, though. I have to get you into the other window. Come on, man.
Put me in the window.
Go. 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 Okay, I got it. This thing is like on such a stupid lag. I'm just gonna have native... I'm using an iPad and a program to enable me to have a second window, so then when I go to a different window, I don't lose Lindsay's video. It's so dumb.
We are going to fix this. We're doing the best we can.
And it just disconnected again.
It's pretty okay.
It just disconnected.
We're being held together by like shoe laces and gum and some duct tape. But it's working out pretty well. We are actively doing a thing, so it's not too bad.
Okay, I think it's...
So Danny's basically saying, as long as you own one of these, I'm okay with you providing a service that I don't want to make.
Right.
So I feel, the energy seems to be, he feels he's losing nothing via a product he put effort into developing by allowing others to interact with that product legally. But he only wants it to be via people who have already invested in the Smart Doll ecosystem.
Goodness sakes. Your video is weird.
My voice is more important right now anyway. I'm not showing anything interesting.
Fine.
It's interesting to compare his approach to how, in the hobby in general, we have overall issues with legitimacy in products, and still have the issue where we're dealing with items that are limited and have a lot of demand, which creates the perfect environment for scalping as well as dupes being made. And in general, the sort of culture of the dupe object is increasingly growing because of the economic and social pressures that we're experiencing right now. People want a luxury good, but they can't afford the luxury good, so you go to different types and places of similar luxury good, which is, like, I'm really interested in watching how ABS-based doll bodies and items might be the killer for the recast.
I would love that.
I think there's very much a space here for this level, because you get a very nice looking piece.
And
for recast prices, and I know I would rather buy a legitimate piece at a price that is in that affordable range that looks as good as they do look.
yeah.
They go through, like, the kind of shady world that the recasts are sold in anyway. So is this finally the solution to the recast issue? Is that that manufacturers have found a way to fill the gap with a legitimate artisan doll?
Yeah, it's the are you talking more about the 3D files or the
Well, the 3D files made me think of how I can't think of many companies who would be comfortable putting their design out and saying you can sell this.
Yeah, I think
the recast issue.
I think it's because recasting vinyl is difficult.
This is true. It is more limited.
And then B, it's usually pieces that he's deciding not to sell anymore.
Exactly.
Discontinued items, so things he wouldn't be doing as much of. And also he's decided to keep his company small, and by doing that, he is always going to have enough demand. So, like...
Yes. He's more interested in being able to consistently sell out of stock than ramping up to a certain size.
Exactly. He doesn't want to, like, sacrifice team composition or happiness or anything like that.
Well, there's also a pure economic element where it looks very good on your broadsheets to be selling out of stock constantly.
I wish I knew how to...
You never have money sitting around and not being sold.
Oh, wait. Maybe I know why this is capturing weird.
Maybe a whole brain cell is activated?
Yeah, except it's
As
real.
I like to talk about with some of my friends. It's like, okay, who has the brain cell and who's activating it? Because I sure don't have it right now.
Just need to drag this a little to the left. Very...
That would be... Because our podcast episodes tend to be more structured in terms of we have a very distinct topic we're going after.
Slowly. No.
The ABS and the interact with the recast and like that, there's a really good podcast topic in there, I think.
Yeah, and I think
we more structured, more like narrative essay things that we do.
Okay, then I retrieve this, and then I bring you back, and your video's working. Huzzah!
Oh, look at me. Oh, Kitten Cat Shop was talking about folks will still want ready-made dolls. Yes, absolutely. There's definitely like the amount of people who are interested in customizing, and then the subsection that is interested in interacting or has the monetary backing to interact with 3D printing at all is very tiny. So he's not really threatened by those
And
people.
3D printing is not just grab and print. You have to know how to make
it is not like a
the supports. Like, here's two that I have done. One I printed directly on the print plate. And it kind of created this ring that went out because you have to kind of overexpose the first layer to get it really to stick to that plate. Mm-hmm. And even this one, which I consider a success, still has a hole in it for who knows what reason. It could have just had a bubble in the resin there. And then ended up with this edge that still needs to be cleaned. Because it was pulling away from the plate, there's like spots where there's like holes near the edge here. I haven't tried to test fit a head cap in there. This one I tried to print with supports, and the supports failed, and part of the head just didn't make it.
Oh, well then.
You can also you can tell when one of these is a little bit more yellow than the others. UV printed resins by nature are made to be reactive to UV.
That's an interesting point. I haven't really seen anyone mention that going to yellow more
because they're
by nature of their very makeup.
Yeah,
how they're made.
They are designed to cure with UV, which means they're designed to react with UV and not limit the UV. Which means you'll even see clear vinyl that Danny did is yellowing much faster than the Cortex.
Well, that makes sense.
I think
it's transparent.
So I think the Aciflex, as they called it, plastic on the Cortex will yellow the least, and then this, and then the vinyl just really yellows for some reason. I saw like some of the first ones that were released that were clear was a Boy Body in clear because he was doing tests with that. So here's some what I would consider what do you call it? A success and a failure print, essentially. Even though with a wig on, you can barely tell with this one. So Kitten Cat Shop said a few things for fun for the clear. Could you use clear silicone earplugs? You could to adhere the eyes. You could. I think it would still block the light a little, and you would still see the outline of the eye past the eye hole. So the mask painting method is what I was going to do. This one, I think I'm going to end up doing like a blue stripe across. I'm going to kind of make it like cyberpunky.
That would be very fun.
Downstairs waiting for me is the cyber bust in clear.
Ooh.
So here's the...
Did it just finish printing recently?
Yeah, yesterday. I just didn't have time to clean it. So here's the default cyber bust. So it's this, which I don't think... Maybe he's not planning on making more of, or the mold isn't working as well anymore. And...
Well, he's moved entirely away from his clear shenanigans.
And he did make some vinyl clear ones, but I had just bought this one with Naomi, and the clear vinyl, it yellows. It yellows and it would definitely look and feel a little different than her normal. So I feel like the clear resin to the clear Cortex is a pretty good match. Next question was, could you use a clear printed eye cradle? Because the eye cradle is one of the things that they have. The eye cradle, it fits into the head and has two little spokes that the eyes point into. I could use a clear printed eye cradle, but it would need to have eyes that would work with it. I think you just kind of stick it on with
scale and size.
Yeah, but
be insertable.
But even then, you would still see the outline of the edge of the eye. Then they also mentioned UV cut Mr. Super Clear or some kind of protective coating. That is also cool. When you coat these guys, you actually start to get different effects if you coat it with clear.
Does it frost a little bit?
So Mr. Super Clear would make it frosty. A clear version of that would make it transparent. When I was making her, I was actually, when Danny Chu said this, I played with that concept. So like on her thigh here, you can actually see where I left it with the original and then where I painted it with the clear coat for a contrast. So certain parts are clear, and then I used the natural lines of where there was like support structures in there to paint where the
paneling?
Yeah, the paneling is, which I almost imagine like a metal like structure going outwards, because I imagine her being like made out of brass and glass, like a sort of like steampunk automata robot was her concept.
She's so cool.
Thank you. I love her.
She's great.
I'm gonna learn how to do LED lights for her. So
yes, please.
So yeah, glossy does make it transparent. So that brings us to the actual full doll that I have printed. This was from PI. I forgot to put in her eyes. There is
PI we talked about previously, I believe, when we were talking a little bit as you were first starting to get your 3D printer calibrated.
Yes. So
they are Etsy's shop.
Yes.
Give us a little detail of like who they are to remind the audience.
So she has a they. I actually think it's a he, but we'll stick with they.
We'll stick with they.
Have a Patreon, and with their Patreon you get at least one monthly doll file plus some bonus ones every month for $10. So if you want to just
specialize in this like tiny size chibi-esque kind of fantastical style.
Yes, and fun rounded pieces, large heads. I think a lot of the earliest one of the earliest dolls they made was Cabot, and it's very clearly inspired by Klonoa, the video game character.
Oh, very good. You say Cabot, and I think of Tenchi Muyo, so that's where my mind went.
Yes.
Tenchi Muyo was an old love of mine from a long time ago.
So,
but that's beside the point.
So we have a fully posable tail here. There is locking pieces on the knees, which is great. Big old flat robot feet for her, because her model's called the Nandroid. And I lost your video again.
How rude.
But I think it'll be fine because I'm not changing windows at the moment. So she is Mecha Meow.
Is Cruffy looking nerd hoarder Corey? Good morning, Corey. It's good
morning.
To see you.
Mecha Meow Mace, hi. Yeah, hi. So
the details are really cute on the various bits and pieces. I assume that she is a strung doll.
She is strung. I strung her a little loose just for a test string. I later found where that mentioned what sizes to cut the strings to. But it's really cool because there is various options for these dolls, and they're all, you can print pieces from one and it'll fit on the other because it's kind of almost like a series. So you can do tail or no tail. There's an old and new style knee, but the new knee is locking, which is good because you can tell it's very top heavy, and there's not a lot of surface area for this hip to prevent movement. I would have almost liked to see some locking mechanisms in the hip as well.
So it's a little bit too much of like a freely, completely round ball joint, as opposed to having either a flatness or some other like mediating geometry.
Corey says we need to stop having the same ideas for Cortex, by the way. Look, I made my Cortex like 2 years ago. I was first. No, it's fun. Great minds think alike.
But that's where I was going. What we say
she gives me
with young children, which I do, they often get protective of the ideas they have, and they are often having the same idea at the same time. So we call it a brain match, and I do this gesture with it because this is the gesture for same in sign language.
Oh.
So we teach them to go, no, it's a good thing. You had the same idea. It's a brain match. To kind of help them manage that.
Yeah, she has like, I've kind of had this feeling of like the Metropolis vibe. Yeah.
I'm excited to see Corey's version, though.
Yay.
Because even though you have the similar idea, you're going to take it in different directions and then, like,
yeah,
take the styling in different directions, which is very, very fun.
Which is very cool. Like, and I think I might print another head for her where I do this, but I want to paint on top of the mask as well. But it's going to be hard because I can't quite do the same way I did this because of there's imperfections that happen on the inside of the head that don't make it...
and that would change the texture of the interior paint as viewed through the exterior.
Yeah, which, I don't know, might be also kind of cool, but we'll see.
If you take it in a direction where you're doing it on purpose, and, like, take advantage of the fact that it looks kind of wobbly.
Corey says, or scruffy-looking nerd, I'll just call you Scruffy. Scruffy asks, original or anime movie? No, the original, black and white original, where like they show it on the cover and it has like the antenna kind of crown feeling, and definitely like
almost like,
and also like
this, like flat prom queen.
Yeah, also like the Pinbot and Bride of Pinbot pinball machines, that kind of feeling.
Yes. Like deep, God, because it's black and white. What was that? 30s, 40s?
I'm not sure.
20s?
I'm not that great. So her head is very heavy. She probably would pose better actually in the ABS. Approve. I have approval.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very good.
We'll them. As is problems with these guys, where it rubs, you get little white dust and scrapes, but there is resin that is better at that from Resi One. So
the type of resin that you're using, depending on the supplier in the formulation, will do different things well.
Yeah, and even this one, there's like some pieces that are still like little misprints here, but it's still 1927 movie. Thank you. It's great. I have people researching for me on the side. It's amazing.
When you get chat, look, if we manage to build a proper chat, we'll say things and things will just appear.
It's amazing. It's like it's magical.
It's magic. This is the power of an active chat. Sometimes they do things on their own as a collective without us.
So anyway, just on this model to further go how crazy wonderful PI is, and I think you can just buy this whole model, like the STL file, for like $45 or something right from their Etsy. You can do ponytail, no ponytail, antenna, no antenna, ears, no ears, attached ears, not attached ears, fruff on the side, no fruff on the side. I think there was 2 different options for the bangs, and
so like, you're not just getting a file with them, you're getting options.
Yes, and it's absolutely. Oh, hi, Jay Louisa. Wow, we got people coming in here. Good morning.
Good morning, Jay.
We're coming
to see you as usual.
We're coming towards the end of the stream, but I actually got some. So like people are doing this thing where they paint in black, and then they kind of use this dust and they kind of chrome it and then they clear coat over it.
Oh, that's something that they've been doing in the nail hobby for a long time.
Exactly. It's actually that dust.
Powder.
It's the chroming powder.
Black underneath for the reflection to do the reflection thing, and it's like you rub it and then you have to seal it.
So that's going to be her hair.
Oh, Becca! It's going to be so cool!
And then her paint is going to be a combination of black and electric UV reactive blue, and maybe some white, but I'm not sure.
UV reactive paint with the chrome. Ah!
Yes.
Then once that's all sorted, once this is complete, we need to do a proper like tiny photo shoot with my camera.
Yay!
And then we can have fun with like getting UV light and doing counter lighting with like the gels that I have.
So time check.
Yes, it's around 11.
It's around 11. Let's just take
in our particular time zone anyway.
Alcat has great paints for metal, and I saw like even like there's like pens that are just like chrome paint pens now. Look amazing. I'm gonna try the black.
The powder used in nail art might be the easiest in terms of application.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try that first.
Yeah, try that first.
I do have to sand down some parts first because she has like these little nubbies on the end of the things here. But
aren't those remnants from the supports?
Yes, exactly. Yep. So if it doesn't look perfect, oh well, she'll just be a slightly banged up, bottle damaged doll, which it's fine because she's a robot.
The type of modding that you're currently exploring at this earlier stage of your experience with it, perfection is not going to be a goal, or should not be a goal, I feel.
Okay, so for our last portion here, let's talk a little bit about what Volks is doing for their anniversary.
My gosh, a whole thing is happening at Volks. It is a whole thing.
Why does this still say it's connecting in my computer?
Anniversary coming up for them.
Yes.
It is right now. I'm not quite sure in that detail. And they are doing a really cool thing. They're doing several cool things. But one of the coolest things for me in this celebration that they are doing is they are pulling out of some archive vault original limited editions that were extras they kept back from previous years. So it's not that they're re-releasing it, they're not remaking it. These are the actual original limited editions from like 10 years ago being put up for limited release.
Let me just, I want to get your face in here as I'm doing this. Let me, I called X display. This will eventually be better, guys. I just don't have the hardware to make it so.
we're getting there. Every time it's a little bit better. We learn, we grow, we change. There's room for growth.
It is not.
But it is so cool. It is so cool. There's a few dolls that they are putting up an offer that were like the ones available when I was in Japan when I was living there. So seeing them kind of again in this context has gotten me very nostalgic and excited.
Let's see.
So I'm very, very jazzed that they're doing this. I have none of the funds to participate in the bloodbath that's about to occur.
Yeah.
Because if you think they were limited the first time, they're going to be extra limited this time. They're also re-releasing a bunch of like outfits, I think. And, like they have a whole plan, and they've been kind of going through stages of this anniversary celebration that's been going on.
This X Connect, I think I might just lose your video while I'm doing this time.
That's fine. I'm not showing anything exciting.
I'm sorry.
I am so tempted. I'm on the USA Volks right now, and there are some really lovely,
all right, let's get there.
Traditional kimono sets that are like shrine kimono sets that are still in stock, and I'm very tempted by them.
Let's get there. Okay, we're gonna do web browser. We're gonna turn off the. I guess we'll turn off the picture version.
Is still in stock. That's their like spooky collection.
Turn on.
Their Halloween collection.
Picture
not
viewer.
As
okay.
as this year.
Here we go. So, there was the base bodies I was looking at earlier, and right now on the US we have the holiday greeting event until a lottery going until the 10th, and there's all these lovely dolls that you can bring home.
And the pre-order for Spy Family is still going.
Yes, so don't miss that if you're interested in that. But we haven't.
I can't tell if I am or am not. I keep looking at her, but I think it's because she's a different scale and size, and I love her character in the manga. Like,
yeah,
it's a very good series,
and it's a very good size of doll. That's very manageable.
I never thought I'd move into the tinier dolls, but I really am.
But of note of these holiday greeting one-offs, we have an F98, which looks lovely and very like rounded cheeked.
I love them. That's really
There's
good.
a Suiganto with the very nice squinty eyes and thinner lips.
Sculpt there.
There's Lizelette with the very fun purse lips, these very overpainted Alice lips. The SGR
really
boy,
cool the nice ones.
101 looks amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a Resner, but I think my favorite is this boy right here, the
I agree.
101.
The 101?
Yeah.
No, I was with you. When I was looking at these earlier, I have it up on my own screen so I can keep up with you. The girls are very classically Volks like paint.
Yeah.
But you know why we like the 101?
Because it looks like Lishy.
Sierra.
Oh, it looks like a Lishy to me, I think, also.
I think it does look a bit like a Lishy, but it's the one that's painted by Sierra, who is classically the highest demand face-up artist for these.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sierra, like, I've seen their name all over the place. They always tell you, they usually are working underneath, like, a pseudonym, but Volks tells you specifically with the one-offs who in the pack of artists did the faces. And I'm saying Sierra because I'm used to that first C being a soft S. It might be Kiera intended from going by a Japanese pronunciation mindset. But Kiera is like classically the person who does the best. Like that's a high demand specifically for Kiera.
And it's very...
And they do this like... their mouths are particularly delicate, I think. In my experience of their work. There's
another one on the top by them.
The Victorique de Blois.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think a combination of the pricing might be the artist, but I think it's... But when I look, it's also whether it's considered an FCS head or a limited model head. So there's no act because it's like Alice is more expensive. The F101 is 1.3, but the SD17 voice is 1,500. Is there 2 SD13s that I can look at? Like, it's hard to say everything, but like, there's an SD girl and an SD13 girl. Like, okay.
Oh, that's a Reznor face that's down at the bottom.
Yeah, like, here's 2. There's an F98 1045 SD girl with a limited one 1265. So I think the head gets accounted for a bit in here. There's lots more recommendations for paint in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Chrome paint by the company Malo Tau. I was looking up for my boyfriend because he wanted the perfect chrome paint he'll use on a Gundam hill barrel. Alclad has a clear candy coatings that mimic automotive finishes over their chrome. All this is very, very cool.
Hold on. You know the chameleon coat thing for automotive paint?
No?
Where it changes depending on angle. I know chrome is kind of different, but it's like more of like a metallic, but like the chameleon change from like purple to green.
Yes, I do know that. I've seen.
That would be really cool.
Look, I can't. I bought a supply. I have to finish a craft. I have to finish a project.
I know. I'm just getting my. I'm excited for you now. I was before, but now I had my own moment.
Well, do I need to print you a doll?
I won't say no to it. I would have to find. I'm more interested in the printed doll space. I'm more interested in the mature looking tinies.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, heck, if you have a model, I'll do my best. Even better if it's pre-supported.
Me too. I need to find a model for the crown that's supposed to go with this person. Because in the original art, there's this really cool crown piece that goes on top her. There's a veil that I do not currently have attached because it falls off all the time. But there's a crown. It looks really cool. It like really completes the look, and I need to either make it or find a way to make it.
Okay,
somehow.
So that's the U.S. promotions. Japan, they're also doing a one-off right now. Global members do apply.
I think that we obtain them is a little difficult, though.
And it's ending tomorrow. So, yay. So we have Kira, Miruku, Lizelette, Charlotte, Luna, 106, a Sosei Seki, another Victoria de Blois in lovely
is the
pink.
Fiesta that you're looking at?
This is Anniversary Fair SD Memorial one-off model lottery. I'm gonna see if I can look at the rest, but when I tried to change pages this morning, it was like, nah, we're too busy right now. Mercury Lamp is
people.
This is the auto translate for Suiganto from Rosen Maiden.
Oh, here we are. SD Memorial de one-off model.
Yes.
Click here for details.
I love the boy Michelle. Looks awesome.
Let me get down here.
I also love all the steampunk outfits. F104.
Do you like the color palette they're working with for this particular one-off
yeah.
group? They're always themed.
Yeah.
Each group is themed to themselves a certain way. I really like the color palette here with the kind of antique, soft blues and browns. I really like the crystal.
The crystal is the winner here. I was gonna say it, but you already said it. Yes. Yeah.
Crystal is like right in an aesthetic place that is my jam, where you have this mature, sort of feminine person, but they're dressed in like a masculine mode.
Yeah, let me load it up. Yay, it loaded.
Color is like everything.
And like the waistcoat kind of thing, and then you switch to the end, and it's like spats and black gloves, but with heels.
Oh, shout out to the lays. Oh, the translation for Reznor is ridiculous. Oh, the Allen though. The SD17 Allen.
Please load. Yes. Okay.
The art on the Allen is like the art. The face up. The face up on the Allen is extremely good. And they're wearing the same shirt as the Crystal that we also both really like, so, you know. And
also has, like, the little waisty thing. Yeah. And it has a floofy skirt.
The face on the Allen.
Oops.
Oh.
Actually, no, this might...
Oh, man. I really like how they painted Reznor here, because sometimes Reznor is, like, really soft. Reznar's a very famously popular sculpt for those who are familiar with Volks history.
Lesnar?
Lesnar.
Oops.
Reznor.
Oops.
I really like the way they did the eyes on the Reznor.
I like the white pink coming through, kind of making the eye feel a little bigger on the bottom.
But I like the heaviness on the top against that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the outfit feels very piratey, punky, which makes sense.
I would go for the two boys or the Crystal if I was to have my druthers.
Crystal, hands down. And it's sad because
Crystal does win the Crystal does win the fight.
Yeah.
Alan's really up there though. He got me by surprise.
Yeah, like I always love Suiganto or Mercury Lamp as the but like the sad thing is these, because of the yen conversion rate, are cheaper to get than the one-offs. And these all come down like under 1,000 about like.
Oh, that's right, because of how strong the dollar is against the yen right now.
Yep.
Ooh.
And
Kat saying they're also on the Crystal train. I'm like, yes, come with us.
Come with us.
Come with us on the train.
And it is open to global members. Okay, let me see if the back button works this time. Oh, great.
Ooh,
so
I just finished a pre-order for a second female mature tiny like your Jade. Ooh, don't tell me this.
So that's one thing that they're having. So this is all for the Volks online store 4th anniversary. Thank you. Purchases of 10,000 yen or more, excluding tax and shipping fee, will receive a thank you gift, and it shows some Volks issues, eyes, and accessory.
Ooh.
Also up is we have D-chords, which Shizu-san talked about a little earlier, but we're going to look at the best of the best selection.
Isn't with the best of the best them taking ones that they've done, and there was a voting thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was a voting thing where everyone's like, where Volks basically said a giant just like survey. Who do you want to see again?
And some of these,
who are your favorites?
And
that's what this is coming from.
I think Shizuka is also available in her wonderful, beautiful kimono on the U.S. store right now.
I looked at her so long because for a little while in Volks, they had her up for sale to just buy.
Yeah.
Because she was a release that just didn't sell out, so they just had her around for a long time. And for a long time, I was considering that being my first Volks. There's something about her I just really love, and her kimono set is really cute.
It's beautiful, and she has...
I do not have the money for this, but I wish I did.
Heel feet, yeah. So she looks great. And then I already got my small little Megu, which was... You
have a little Megu. Do you have Megu with a friend?
I do have Megu with a friend. So this is the other version they did of Megu with a friend, Komame. So the one I got was the Kyoto one. So they're both in like Japanese fuku, Japanese clothing. Yeah, and then this one has the kind of like party dress 15th anniversary version. And it shows that it's in the origin body, which they've now updated the body. I like the older bodies better.
If the energy they're going with being here is a small version of our classic first doll, being in the more older jointing style makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they remade these or if it was just old stock, but yeah, it's really cool. Either way,
this is old stock. They explicitly have said so.
But it's cool because it's probably been stored away from life and everything, so it's probably still pretty good.
Because specifically under the Nui and Komame, they specifically say it's the 15th anniversary version of it. Mm-hmm. The others are old stock.
Mm-hmm.
They're OG. Which is why they're so exciting to me, because I have that collector's thing with me.
So, like, this is cool, because this was the Claude the Beast, which was one of the first times that you could easily...
One of those. It's ridiculous.
One of the first times you could easily obtain in a guy,
like a beefy guy.
A beefy guy, that skin tone from Volks.
One of the few times I've
pure
ever done
skin,
that
shadow skin, yeah. So
I've always never done it again. I was very lucky to have known someone who had one and had brought it to a Volks event. So I consider myself highly complimented that they trusted me holding the damn thing.
Yeah, I will say that I'm sure this the Imomo body is a lot lighter. I had an Eiffel House doll and it's so heavy.
SDGO feel like I have a weapon I could kill someone with.
They also have...
In terms of weight, but like the weight is balanced in a way that doesn't feel awkward. It's just mighty.
Yeah. So there's D-cords, which is cool. Shizu-san and that community knows a lot more about these. But essentially, there's only these two, which is the DDH-11. But that is one of the ones that you can only get with, I believe, the doll point. You can't buy this head blank or separately. One is Dolphy Dream's sister, one is Dolphy Dream Pretty, which is also hard to get. Then the outfits are outfits that are only sold with D-cord dolls, one of which, as I scroll down, up, where's the image? Please work. So this outfit, as you'll notice with a little apron,
on the pocket.
It is a replica of what they wear, the uniforms they wear at doll point.
Oh my god, you're right. It is the uniform. They have it has the little, what is it called? Apron. It's the little apron. It says doll point on the pocket. That's really, really cute.
And I think the other outfit is also exclusive to the D-cords. So you can only get these. You can only get these outfits if you buy a D-cord. You can only usually buy a D-cord by going into the physical shop. So this is really cool, and it is,
the whole thing.
In fact, open to global. So,
damn.
That, of course, closes tomorrow. But once again, that yen rate, pretty good. And then they had have at least until tomorrow. Lucky bags, but they're like almost all sold out except the USD ones. So, whatever.
Are you surprised? No.
No, but that's fine.
No.
I mean, it's always good to get.
Surprised.
And it's fun to buy them and trade with people and things, or, you know, if you're low on doll sons, to buy it and then just sell the pieces separately if you have the patience for some such things. So, then let's see. What else were we talking about? Oh, let's talk about Merry Doll Round. Merry Doll Round.
We're going to go in a completely different end of the BJD world, and which I'm more familiar with. Oh, have a great day, Kit and Kat. Ooh,
Yeah.
you're coming nearby. Have a good time crossing a bridge and having a good time in New Jersey.
Enjoy.
Have a good time. So Merry Doll Round is a one-person atelier-style ball-jointed doll artist, which is like my jam. That's the world I live in, and they make these beautiful resin dolls.
Looks like French resin.
They have a line of dolls that I've always coveted, called the Pygmy line.
Pygmy stock sale.
I have ambivalent feelings about the naming conventions, but I believe they work out of Spain, and what I really want from them, like what I truly, truly want, is there was a release they did of a narwhal-based mermaid-style doll, and their dolls are like in the tiny size, so they're like 1/6, or not 1/6. Yes, 1/6, 1/6 or even smaller, and they are absolutely precious. I'm really taken with them. I really want the narwhal. because it with the body design to put on legs and take off legs because it has like a narwhal tail and they have like a
where would
it's really, really cool. Haven't done it again since, but recently they had a sale of in-stock Pygmy, and I lost my mind. And because I had the opportunity, I jumped for the artist to do a custom face, and I really like the way she structures it because she lets you have 3 words to guide how the face up goes, and everything else is just you get what you get, you don't get upset. So I went for a very like gothic vampire theme.
Oh, I even see the vampire one is here, yeah.
And because they're so tiny, and I really love the way that she does the faces on them, and so I jumped for that. She has still Pygmies in stock, so if you want just a doll now, you can go and get it, which is really unusual for the way her releases run. And I got the shipping notification like 2 days ago.
Ooh. So that's going to be next week's podcast.
Well, it depends on how long it takes to get here. It is coming across the world, and the world is crazy right now.
Yeah.
So, I am just going to vibrate in place until she arrives. And also fun is that as they're arriving at people's homes, the people who did ask for a custom paint, the proprietor is then posting pictures of the paint state that they did, but they're waiting until it gets to the owners.
Nice.
So that like they're protecting like the delightful surprise. So yes, J. Luz, I fully intend to hopefully do a box opening of some kind with it. I'm so excited. I've been following Mary Doll around for years and years and years and years. It just never quite was the right time. They did a really beautiful Elphaba release at one point with their larger dolls. They did this really cute Halloween release last year that I like salivated over and just didn't have the funds for.
Was that the Wicked Witch? Or because I see the Wicked Witch and it looks awesome.
Yes. And they also did a Halloween-style release of the Pygmies where they were in a purple skin.
Oh, I saw that as one of the examples on the custom makeup service. Is that one?
They're so darling, and they fit in the same size clothes as A-Zones.
Oh.
So A-Zone clothes are so beautiful and so nicely made. So they're in scale with A-Zone clothes, so I can get nice clothes that aren't super expensive.
What color did you get? Or should we leave it as surprise?
I went for the, since the YouTube's so far behind, I do not know where you are on the website right now.
I'm just browsing. Here's the narwhal.
The narwhal, isn't it? I want that narwhal really bad. I thought it was just very cute and clever.
I love the noses on these.
Aren't the noses really grand? There's a very intentionally Mary Doll Round makes faces with features that aren't your standard Caucasian beauty. Like, it's a very intentional choice, and I really enjoy that about their choices. And their body sculpting is mindful to the way aesthetics get twisted sometimes, and trying to lean into the beauty of all bodies, which I really appreciate about their philosophy. I ended up going with, I do not know the words off the top of my head. I have to myself be looking at the listing to...
Okay, strawberry marzipan,
tell you.
Cookie, chocolate milk, chocolate, dark cocoa, coconut, aquamarine, amethyst, emerald, selenite.
Selenite, it's a gray.
Okay, yeah.
It's a gray. You would want to look into the Pygmy stock sale listing. That's the one where I purchased came from.
Yay. I don't think they have that color available anymore.
No, that was specific to a very limited full set that they were doing for a little while. What I jumped for is not the Bungyol face, but the what do we call them? The Dango. The Dango face and the pale skin, which I think is called Milk here.
Okay.
Because I really wanted that I'm using a lot. It's not a fellow word I use. I really wanted that porcelain, pale, dead vampire look.
Speaking of dead vampire looks, he also sent me this image today.
Because I really want to lean into a gothic loli, really intensely kind of look with her. So that's my plan. That's the plan.
Anyway, so
and also Asterion also exists in Baldur's Gate 3.
You sent me this image.
It's great, isn't it? Darling. You can't look. Now we're in Lindsay's brain rot zone. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. Like the rest of the internet, I adore one pale, pasty vampire drama queen. And I saw this particular fan art of this bat form, and I've lost my entire mind. I have materials upstairs to try to make a plushie version of it, because I'm just so taken with this Batsterian, which is what I've been calling it.
Batsterian is good. That is good. That's a good way to put it.
I am obsessed, but those are my current projects personally. Is I want to make Batsterian.
I need to finish. Don't die. Let me bring us back to center here. Let's see. Side by side.
So I have exciting doll news and I'm exciting making a thing news. I'm losing my mind.
Is there a reason why we're just...
directions. I'm just embracing cringe and being free.
So, of course, we are... Your YouTube video is not your capture Discord. Okay.
Oh, Jay Louisa, I have not seen Sighthound Lady's videos. I will have to follow up on that suggestion from you to see sort of what they're doing with their with the Mary Doll Round dolls.
Yay!
I do count myself lucky that I got one because they're very limited when they are released. Things just combined correctly.
So I think we're good to wrap up here. I think we covered all the fun things.
We did cover fun things. We did a whole doll unboxing.
Yes.
Let's review. We did a whole doll unboxing, which, Jay, feel free to go back, hopefully, and take a look at it. It's really exciting to see this giant body and different material. We talked about Volks' anniversary. We talked about 3D printing and your 3D printing experiments that have been going on.
Yes.
Working with the transparent cortex pieces. And then my brain rot problems.
Yes.
One of these things is not quite like the others.
So, as you buy all your safety equipment so that you don't breathe in the bad fumes from your 3D printers, and buy the new resin so it doesn't, from Resi 1, so it doesn't create all the bad rubbing, everybody have a great day. Be safe, be well. Remember to keep on collecting dolls.
But keep that budget.
Bye, guys. Thank you all for coming. Have a great weekend.
Active in chat. If you are just a lurker, we love you too. We appreciate any amount of engagement that you're willing to offer. We're just like doing this because it's fun for us to do.
It's fun. It's fun for us to share dolls. Dolls is fun.
Yes.
So
dolls is fun. It's a very fun hobby.
So bye, guys.
There's so much to it.
Thank you all. Wait, I have my outro here somewhere.
I'll wave until it happens.